My Washington Mystics starting five. Natasha Cloud at the one. Christy Tolliver at the two. Elena Deladon at the three. Maisha Hines-Allen at the four. And Shakira Austin at the five. Now, my Washington Mystics bench. Shatori Walker-Kimbrough at the one. Ariel Atkins at the two. Brittany Sykes at the three. Tiana Hawkins at the four. And Amanda Zalby at the five. My Connecticut Sun starting five. Natisha Heidemann at the one. Tiffany Hayes at the two. Dewana Bonner at the three. Alyssa Thomas at the four. And Brianna Jones at the five. Now my bench unit is Nia Clouden at the one. Dejanay Carrington at the two. Rebecca Allen at the three. Lauren Cox at the four. And Olivia Nelson-Ododa at the five. Now,
victory against the New York Liberty, the hyped up super team. There's in Indiana in 15 and 16. Deladon is fed, fall away.
Now I gotta say the Mystics, they are returning a decent amount of players that they had last season. And let's not forget they were the fourth or fifth seed. Off memory, I'm forgetting. I want to say fourth. We'll see what happens if I'm right. But no, they were fifth. They were fifth. They were fifth. I mean, yeah, they were fifth. I'm right on that one. I think I'm positive. Anyways, that was last season. This season, it's a little bit different, just a little bit. Now, if you're looking at the starters, I personally say they got a solid starter unit. Okay, the systems say average, but I think they got a solid starting unit. We'll see how it goes though. The bench was actually quite surprising because it's number two in the WNBA. So if that bench is actually producing at that rate, that means if the starters do take a step back, hey, guess what? You can interchange some of the bench players and still keep rolling. You might even be playing a little bit better. And speaking of playing better, fun fact too, they are the third tallest team. So that tells me you're not going to beat them with height, and they might have a little versatility. And when I say they might, they do have a little versatility. And they also got a good amount of experience as well. That's fun to note. Now they're not the fastest team, right? They can go fast, but it's best for the Mystics to be in a half pace in a half court setting. Personally, just based on age, and then from a scoring perspective, all right, they could use a little bit of an improvement on the scoring tip, but their defense is actually pretty good. So when I'm looking at that, I'm telling myself they can stop folks. So as long as they can score, that's actually going to be beneficial come playoffs because things get a little tighter in playoffs. You know what I'm saying? So if the Mystics can actually score just a little bit better, they'll be all right. Playmaking, they look good. Here's where they lose me, and it goes back to the scoring. The field goal percentage, the 3-point percentage, and the free throws, all at the bottom of the WNBA. Not at the very bottom, but they in the lower tier. They're in the lower third of the WNBA in all those categories. You gotta change that because again, the playoffs. Yes, you need defense, but you also need to score the ball. You gotta get a bucket, and if you gotta get a bucket efficiently too. You can't sit up there and just keep scoring or keep jacking and hope that you're gonna stop because somebody's gonna score on you at some point in time. So now the Connecticut Sun did lose Jonquel Jones and Jasmine Thomas last season. Now, to be fair, they didn't have Jasmine Thomas in the postseason, but still, losing those two players, it's a little tough. You got to replace that, and that's a lot. Also, they lost Courtney Williams, who was quite instrumental for their team last season in the postseason. So that's actually three players that you lost. And all three of them could get a bucket, okay? Now, when I'm looking at the Sun team, starters and bench unit, they are 5 out of 12 for me. So we're above average in terms of the Suns. That's right. We're not really losing too much ground from last season. Even though we lost those three key cogs, you're not losing a lot of ground. Like they're not going to be out of the playoffs, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. In fact, surprisingly, they're one of the shorter teams. So expect them to be a little bit more in transition. Now, when I'm looking at this squad, I see a relatively experienced team. Um, they can score. Weirdly, they can't rebound as well as you would want them to, though. I'd need to see a little bit more improvement from that, right? But we should see that. We should see that as the season goes on, which and that actually kind of surprises me too. So I'm definitely going to be looking out for that. Then the blocks factor, the defense on the perimeter, we're looking cool. Interior, I could see a little increase. We could improve in that area as well. So again, rebounding, interior presence. I'm looking at the bigs, looking at the big women. All right. So that brings me to my X factor. Shakira Austin and the development of her game. If she actually can get to all-star level, the Mystics have something because you have a good team. And again, this is based on last year's stats. So I'm assuming she is going to get closer to all-star level. All-star level, hey, we got to wait and find out. I know some people who do believe she's going to be all-star. I'm not saying she can't. It might just be a year early. Just might be one more year early. That's all. That's all. And then obviously Elena Delle Donne and her health. As long as she's healthy, the team gonna be looking straight. But they have a really good team. The scoring aspect is where they got to evolve, and that's where I'm looking at this team to take that next step, be a lot more efficient actually. So the Mystics, hey, can y'all pull some wizardry unlike the Washington Wizards, and shoot a little bit better, score a little bit more? I appreciate it. Thank y'all. So based on these, you know where my X factors are going to go. We got Brianna Jones for a multitude of reasons. Actually, is she going to be that All-Star plus player for the Suns? If she can be, she's replacing Jonquel Jones. Now she doesn't have that Tracy ball that Jonquel does, but if she can shoot a little mid-range, extend that that defense just enough. Now Alyssa Thomas can drive. Now DeWanna Bonner can slash. Speaking of DeWanna Bonner, hey, how's DeWanna doing from Tracy? Like, is her and Tracy cool? Because I need her and Tracy to be good friends, at least respectable friends. Because if DeWanna Bonner is hitting the three ball at a respectable clip, now you have three guards, at least three perimeter players who can keep the defense honest. And Brianna Jones and Alyssa Thomas can play interior, which are their strengths. So again, those are my X factors for the Sun. And I mean, Sun fans, it looks like the sun has not set just yet.
Oh, I did not know you guys were still here. As you can see, we're at the back end of the show. No pun intended, but look, hope you all enjoyed it. And before you go, please subscribe to the YouTube channel, follow the IG account, share the content to anybody who's anybody. And most importantly, leave your thoughts and comments below. But I got to go back and play Buddy in 2K, so let me unmute him real quick. Excuse me. Hey, boss, I'm back. Nah, you better catch this word. You know we get buckets around here,